Hello, how are you?
Hello, I am very well, thank you. How are you?
I am very good, very good. Excited for the next episode, which is another
Yes,
surprise for me. So,
it
what would you
is.
like to chat about today, Charlotte?
Well, this is, I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to go
Okay.
for it
Yeah.
because it's something that is going on with me right now. And it's something that's very relevant in the club as well.
Mm,
We've spoken a lot about health and fitness and
hmm.
actually getting into a routine where it's a habit, and it comes easily, and we're not going on
Mm,
this cycle of it not coming so easily, and you kind of
yeah.
like you'll have a few sessions of like going for a run and then it just stops and then that's it. And then you're kind of on this cycle of
Yeah.
doing something and then it just goes out of the window.
Mm,
And like I say, it's a bit messy because there's a few things involved in
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I have also been about my journey. So, for the listeners, I am basically trying to get a little bit more conscious on my choices with alcohol.
Hmm.
Now, this is not saying I don't know where I call it my adventure with alcohol
Yeah.
free options. And so, just to start off, so on Sunday, I kind of said to myself, I don't really want to drink on a Sunday because I like a Sunday to get ready for the week and
Mm,
just get the jobs done, get my head clear, have some family time, and just look after myself a bit more on a Sunday rather than kind of reach for a drink and then feel, it kind of goes into Monday.
yeah.
So I had a bit of a moment on Sunday where I made some good choices and
Yes.
I went out with friends just to the pub in the day to where there's a play place for the children. And I chose two alcohol-free beers.
Yes.
And I was literally like, the time with my friends was exactly the same as it would have been
Mm,
if I was having wine, which really
mm,
surprised me because I was like, this is great.
mm, mm.
And I walked back from that really mindfully. And I was just like, God, I feel so clear headed just walking home in the sunshine, having had my two little alcohol free
Yeah.
beers. And it was just lovely. And I got home and I did whatever else I would have done that day rather than kind of be like, get home and be like, oh, I'll just have one more. Or,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
not saying that I have like any problems with alcohol and I don't
Mm,
necessarily, but I just want to be more conscious with my decisions.
mm.
So I was on an absolute high and I was like, this is great. And I woke up the next morning, I got up, went for a run. Then I got home from the run and I thought, it's going to be warm. So I walked our dog as well. So before 8 a.m., I'd done
Hmm.
9,200 steps. And I was
Yes.
literally like, who am I? And when you have such a good day of like just a good few, and it really spurs you on to
Mm,
do these good things for you. And then,
mm,
it led on to a lovely day. And I had a really just good day all round. And
mm.
it was wonderful. So the point I'm getting to, then I woke
Yeah,
up this morning.
yeah.
And you expect that high to kind of continue, don't you?
Mm,
But the reality was, I woke up this morning and my motivation wasn't there to get out of bed.
mm.
But I did it anyway. But I want
Yeah.
to talk about this today because I'd kind of done something over that period of time and I'd taken to my journal and I kind of put an anchor there for why I want to do this stuff. And the bottom
Mm,
line is, I want to live more.
mm,
And that means like not having that extra hour in bed where I'm going to regret it later in the day because I'm like, oh, I wish I'd got up. Like just doing the things. And I'm
mm,
not for one second saying it's easy because this morning it was not. I
mm.
was very proud of my Monday self because I put my gym stuff downstairs. So I couldn't, when I went to the loo, I was like, it's there. Can't not say no to
Yeah.
this because it's right there. I'm going to do it. And I didn't go on a run, but I went for a walk and I went for a good walk, got a podcast on,
Mm,
took Dens out. But it wasn't easy. And I was like,
mm,
but that anchor of, I want to live more. Why am I
mm,
getting up today to go for a
mm,
walk? Because I want to live more. I don't want to just be in this space where I'm like regretting not doing something and then being
mm,
on this same cycle.
mm,
And this is a journey. And this is why I
mm,
wanted to speak about it today, because yesterday I had a day of motivation. Today I had a day where the motivation wasn't there, but I did have to decide to still do it anyway. Um,
I love that. There's so much. I'm just sat watching and listening and taking it all, and there's just so much to celebrate. First of all, what a great win on Sunday, that choice. And I love how you said like nothing was different. You still had an amazing time with your friends because the relationships are there, the relationships are strong, and how great you felt from making a better choice because you knew what your intention was, and you knew you wanted to get back home and, like you said, have a bit of time to yourself on a Sunday and continue to look after yourself and get yourself set up for the week ahead rather than coming back. And I can completely relate because you know, a couple of glasses of wine, then you get home and you think, well, maybe just one more. And then all the things that you thought you wanted to do when you get home, it's like, oh, actually I'm a bit tired now, so I'll just sit down the sofa and then not really get a lot done. And then the following day you kind of on the back foot a little bit. So I think celebrate that because that is such a win, isn't it? That really is. And it's a decision. It comes down to it. It's a decision, isn't it, to choose something different and choose, you know, a better choice. So that's wonderful in itself. There's so much you've just shared there. And I think the thing that's standing out for me the most is this whole kind of like, I like how you said, you know, we're on a journey and some days you feel like you have this motivation and then other days you don't. And it's an interesting thing, motivation, isn't it? And I feel like I'm still fathoming it out. Like, is it a real thing? Like, because I know we sort of really, you know, kind of strongly advocate that action is the action that brings the motivation. I think if we're hanging around waiting for the motivation, kind of kidding ourselves a little bit. When do you ever jump up in the morning and go, oh, I can't wait to go and do a 10k walk or an hour's gym class? I don't know if and I know if this is just my personal view on it, but I don't think even when I do get into a really good routine with, I love to do yoga and there's a couple of classes I love to do at the gym. And if I'm on a really good stint of like 3, 4, 5, 6 months into it, where I'm building a really good routine, I'm feeling good and I'm seeing the results and mentally, physically, you know, lots of benefits, I still don't know if I think, oh, I can't wait to do that today, which I know is a bit of an odd thing to say, but but what I do is I create that picture and I step into those feelings of knowing how I will feel after, and I use that as I suppose to then flex that discipline muscle, because like you this morning, I didn't get a very good night's sleep last night. I didn't go to bed till late. Bad choice, poor choice. And then I just couldn't get off to sleep. It happens. I put a meditation on. I was just really struggling with the heat or whatever, but I was so keen. I set my alarm for 6 this morning. I think I'll give myself a little bit more of a lie in. And my alarm went off at 6. I was like, this just I've had like 5 hours here, and this feels like a struggle. So I pushed it back to 6:30, and then it went off at 6:30, and I literally lay there for 10 minutes going through this whole scenario in my mind of like, if I know how much better I'm going to feel if I get out for my walk. So I got my clothes on. Then I sat on the end of the bed. I was like, oh, but maybe I could just sit downstairs and listen to my podcast and do a bit of journaling instead and do it that way. And I was like, no, I literally, there was such chatter going on for about 10-15 minutes to get myself. And I did eventually get out of the house this morning, go for my walk, get my podcast on, go and get my coffee. And I've come home feeling so much better and just so much more awake. And I've had that time to myself to wake up and feel better for the day ahead. But you know, some mornings I can get out of bed a lot easier, but this morning it was a real kind of like push to do it. But it's that
did it anyway.
You did it anyway. And Mel Robbins, you know, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whether you want to do it or not, just do it anyway. And that's like, is it motivational or is it discipline? And I think my word for the show is discipline. And that's something a muscle I really want to strengthen. And I'm definitely using that visualization and that tapping into those triggers and those anchors of like, well, I know what I'll feel like after. So just do it anyway. It's hard, like, but it's pushing yourself, isn't it? And
this is it. And I feel like it's a cycle. Like, life's not perfect at all. Like I said in previous episodes, perfection doesn't exist.
No.
So we are all going to have this roller coaster with whatever it is that we want to do. There'll be life things that come up and it'll shimmy it back. But I think it's that period of time where we're so mean on ourselves and we think we've gone back to square one, don't we? And we haven't. And I think I've really stepped into that recently where I'm like, what am I obviously things that we did in the club as my action steps was I wanted to do 2 runs a week and 1 extra bit of exercise. And I was doing it, and then I got poorly, and then I was like, oh, I can't do it. And previous me would have just, that's it now.
Yeah.
But new me was like, no, you've built up just because you've had like, you went on 1 run this week instead of 2 and did the extra thing. Like, that's still something. And I think it's that shift into see like it being our own journey and being kinder to ourselves with it, and being, like you say, having that anchor of why am I doing it? Because and it needs to be an anchor, I think, more than about like physical appearance or like the kind of the shoulds of why we go and work out. Like, no, what does it mean to you? Like, for me, it means getting up and I want to live more. So for me, I'm starting to because I think with me, when I go for a run, I feel like that takes all my energy and then I've got no energy for the day. And I'm like, that's a mindset thing, like huge mindset thing. And I was like, I felt great for doing that. And I thought, and I've broken through that, doing those amount of steps before 8 a.m. I felt amazing for the rest of the day. And I was like, that was a mindset thing, like kind of sitting in lack of energy almost. Like, I'm like, no, I have an abundance of energy. It's coming at me. It's coming at me. And
that's really important. That's a really important thing to touch on, actually, because when I sat on the bed this morning, I was really close to being like, oh, mate, I'll just do the podcast at home. My body's really tired. Like, I walked, so I think a 6 or 7 mile walk on Sunday after doing a 12-hour shift at my restaurant on my feet for 12 hours, walking probably another 10 miles. So I just felt, my body just felt really tired this morning. But you're right, it's interesting because even when you feel this lack of energy and this tiredness, you think like the last thing to go and run or walk is going to just kind of, it's going to take more out of me, but it invigorates. Like, I got back feeling better, like more energy. And it's just doing that, isn't it? Because it's that headspace. It's that, sorry.
Do you think that's coupled with a strong why though? Because isn't it? Like, because I think that's the piece of the puzzle I've been missing. Because I'm like, I don't enjoy it. I've been like, nah, gym's not for me. It's not for me. And I don't think gym is for me, really. I nearly joined a few weeks ago and I'm glad I didn't, because I feel like I'm finding my way with how I want to do this.
Yeah.
And it is about that. It's fine. Why do you want to do the thing that you want to do? And how are you going to do it best for you?
That's really key, isn't it? Is that anchor, like that word is just a really good terminology for like, what is it? What is your anchor? Like, why get up? Why choose to go for that walk this morning when you're really tired, or the run when you're, feeling a bit low in energy? Why use that muscle of discipline? Why use that mindset of, we'll just do it anyway, because you know how much better you'll feel. And yes, you'll feel better, but why is that important? And for you, like you said, because you want to live more and kind of just get the best out of your day. And likewise, I know that why I do it is because I want to get intentional with my day. And I know that when I'm out on my walk and I'm what I'm consuming, the podcasts and the things that I'm listening to, are getting me in the right mindset, getting me in the right perspective, gearing me up for the day ahead. And I know that I'm much calmer when I return home. I'm more patient with the kids getting ready for school, and anyone with small children, getting them ready for school in the morning. They know how much patience you need.
Yes, you could always use a little extra.
Yeah, sure, just a little bit more. So going out for that walk is just, it's just keep it. It does, it's whatever it looks like for you. Because I appreciate, sometimes it can be challenging to get out of the house in the morning if you know your partner, or if you're single parenting, or if your partner's off at work, or whatever situation you're in. But it doesn't have to look like that for you, but whatever it is you do it's just going back to that anchor, like, why am I making these choices? Why am I choosing these decisions? Why am I thinking these thoughts? Why am I carrying out these actions? What's it all for? And that's a really really big question. But when you open up and you start exploring that, just asking yourself that question, what is my anchor? Why do I do those things? What do I want to create in life? Where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? I just think opening that is so beautiful, because then you just kind of, I know for me personally, it's allowing me to shift into being a hell of a lot more intentional with my time and the things I do and who I spend my time with and how I spend my time.
It's so interesting, isn't it? There was a podcast that one of our members put in the club that she recommended, and I listened to it this morning. And there was something in that I'll share it in the show notes. It was a one from Stephen. Love Stephen.
The chimp.
Chimp paradox. Yes,
that's
I've
exactly
forgotten
the
his
same
name.
one I listened to this morning.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
oh,
I'm only I've got another half an hour to go because it's a long one. But
amazing.
Very great.
Yeah, and I was like, it was the way that he sort of spoke about, like, who is the person that you want to be? You're already that person. And we're so quick to just knock ourselves down. I think he used an example of compassion, didn't he?
Yeah.
And like, say someone, so you want to be compassionate. Say someone comes in and I forget the example now.
Yeah, so the guy he was interviewing, and I also forget his name. So yeah, he used the example of like Stephen wants to be compassionate, but the guy he's interviewing may turn up late for the interview because he's had a bit of a rough morning. Traffic was bad. And he comes and he says, like, he's had a bit of a rough morning. And Stephen's response, Stephen may be like, I don't know, rushed himself and just kind of like cuts him off a little bit and isn't very compassionate in his response. And then he goes on to say that it doesn't mean to say that he's not compassionate.
Yeah.
But that the chimp jumps in. Go on,
yes.
you carry on.
I feel like this is
very well. Listen, you just listen to the podcast, basically.
Yeah. But that you then think, I wasn't compassionate. It's out the window.
Yeah.
It's not out the window. All it takes is an apology and be like, I'm sorry, I was a bit rushed or something like, and you're back, boom, you're back to where you want to be, rather than being so mean on yourself and saying that I do apologize. This has happened 2 days in a row, 2 episodes in a row. My phone went off. That we say that's gone. Yeah. That's not gone. Like, he's a compassionate person, but everyone has moments of feeling rushed. Like, stop yourself and be like, just apologize for that.
Just an apology kind of just brings you back to that compassion. But it's really good. We'll definitely put that in the show notes.
Yes,
highly recommend that one.
Thank you.
Anchoring ourselves and I think,
and just not throwing these things out the window, isn't it? Like, we just literally, whether it's a habit, whether it's something that we want to be, that we feel like we're not, you are. You can do the things that you want to do with kindness to yourself and with embracing that life is a roller coaster. Life is up and down and up and down. But hold on to that reason why you're doing the things that you're doing and just keep on going.
Absolutely. Perhaps that's a question to ask yourself today, guys. Why?
Definitely.
What is my anchor? What are my reasons? And just start exploring it. See what comes up for you.
Definitely.
Share it with us. Let us know.
Should we maybe pop a couple of journal prompts for this maybe as well in the show notes? I feel like that would be a good takeaway, wouldn't it?
Definitely.
Because it is fine. And like I say, I was never I'm not a gym person.
And
I'm not, because I just don't. I think I like getting outside, and I think I realised that more so than inside. But it's a journey to get there as well, isn't it? So just, we're all on our own journeys. And like I say, who knows how I'm going to wake up tomorrow, but I'm going to do whatever I can to live more and have that anchor and be like, I tell you what I am going to do. Tuesday, Charlotte is going to put her workout stuff downstairs again, because that worked.
Good trigger. It's waking up, and it's that choice, isn't it, in that moment, just before we start to react to the day. It's that choice.
And I suppose, like you say, thinking about, if you don't do it, how are you going to feel? If you do it, how are you going to feel? That's crazy, isn't it? Difference. Well, this was lovely.
It has been lovely to chat, and we'll pop some journaling prompts in the show notes, and also share that podcast, and just let us know when you start to explore what your anchor is.
For sure.
We would absolutely love to know.
We really would. Thank you so much for listening, guys.
Take care now.
Bye.